Busy show here on a Monday as draft week is officially here. And speaking of the draft, this is your last chance to help us reach 65,000 subscribers if you want a live fan-led mock draft tomorrow. We're 112 subs away. Can we get there? Live show is tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central. Probably get to 65K by 2 o'clock to give us enough time to get the stuff ready to go. So if you want to do that on tomorrow's show, subscribe and you won't regret it. We publish daily Chicago Bears content for free. So hit that big red button. Let's get to 65,000 subs tomorrow. Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Roan. Get this nice dress shirt, the commuter shirt, plus other menswear at roan.com/chatsports and get 20% off by using code chatsports. Tell you a little bit more about the commuter collection later on in the show. All right, draft rumors are circulating as we are 3 days away from round one. And is Darnell Wright the right pick for the Chicago Bears? Lots of buzz revolving around Darnell Wright and the Chicago Bears. It kind of started last week, and it's kind of continued through the weekend. The Bears blog, who you guys know has been pretty tapped in the past when it comes to this franchise, before even this tweet mentioned that he retweeted a tweet about Darnell Wright for a reason, and then he was asked if you would draft a player at 9, who would you take? And he mentioned Darnell Wright would be the top guy, followed by Christian Gonzalez and Paris Johnson Jr. Corey Wooten, who formerly played at the Bears, defensive lineman, does a lot of trenches work as a Bears analyst now, says this: if the Bears feel good about Braxton Jones at left tackle, I like Darnell Wright from Tennessee. Unreal athleticism and strength. One of the best blocking tackles, locked down Will Anderson, #Bears. And then also, NBC Sports Chicago sat down with Darnell Wright after his draft visit with the Bears and kind of got a recap of how that went. Here's what Darnell Wright had to say about the Bears. You walk into the GM's office and they want to really ask you some questions. They want to get to know you and they want to dig a little bit to see what you're about. I think they were impressed because I could just be myself. I don't have anything to hide. I don't have to sit in there and try to be this perfect person or make these perfect sentences to sound like the perfect person. I could just be myself. They respected that. I talked to Coach Simo, offensive line coach Chris Morgan, for a long time. He said it was funny. He was talking to me about what are some of your pet peeves. It's funny right off the bat. His number one pet peeve and mine are both the same thing. So it's going to be fun working with him if I end up with the Bears. And by the way, that pet peeve was complacency, which that's a good thing you want to hear. You don't want to draft someone who is complacent and satisfied with where he is. Darnell Wright could be the perfect fit. If you're comfortable with Braxton Jones at left tackle, kind of like the point Corey Wooten made, Darnell Wright, plugging in at right tackle, makes a ton of sense. He is the best pure right tackle in this class. I am buying the Darnell Wright buzz that the Bears are interested and that he's very interested in being in Chicago because they have a clear need there. He is very athletic. His testing was good. His tape this year at Tennessee was excellent. Struggled a bit at left tackle in prior seasons, but moved back to right this year and just was awesome. He did dominate Will Anderson. And if you listen to kind of nerdy offensive line kind of film watchers, they'll tell you that Darnell Wright has a really good combination of athleticism and power. And I think that would be very, very appealing to Ryan Poles. Now, would I take him number 9 overall? I'd have to see who else is available. Ideally, I think the perfect draft scenario is that the Bears trade down and land Darnell Wright beyond the number 9 selection. Now, do you want Chicago to draft Darnell Wright, whether it's at number 9 or later? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think he's a plug-and-play right tackle in the NFL. Doesn't mean there wouldn't be growing pains, but I would like this selection quite a bit. Y for yes and for no. Pin comment on today's show. Do you want the Bears to draft Darnell Wright? From one offensive tackle to another in this NFL draft, Paris Johnson Jr. is his stock rising. Reports out there that he might not even be available when the Bears pick at number 9 overall. We'll talk about this coming up here in just a moment. But first, special shout out to our sponsor, Roan. I'm rocking the commuter shirt. Very breathable, very flexible with their 4-way stretch fabric. And what Roan has done is reinvented the men's closet because the male's closet was in need of a radical reinvention, and Roan stepped up to the challenge. Their commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, and here is why their products are really made for every occasion, whether you're at work in the office, you have a big meeting coming up. If you want to go to the golf course, they've got gear for that as well. Comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about filling up your closet ever again because Rhone's got it all. Mobility is important. You got to be able to go from point A to point B, especially for someone who travels for work. And Rhone's going to keep you very, very comfortable. Get 20% off with code ChatSports at Rhone.com/ChatSports. Looking good has never been the challenge. There's plenty of companies out there that put out nice dress shirts, pants, etc. But being comfortable at the same time, that is what Rhone has accomplished. Best part about Rhone, machine washable. Throw it in the washing machine and then air dry it. No harm, no foul. 20% off code ChatSports at Rhone.com/ChatSports. That's RHONE.com/ChatSports. Code ChatSports. Check the link in the comments and description. Okay, back to Paris Johnson here. Greg Gabriel, former NFL front office guy, kind of tapped in with the Bears here, says there is a very possible scenario in which Paris Johnson doesn't make it to 9. Jonah Tolles, NFL draft analyst, also mentioned this. He says there's a lot of buzz around Arizona with Paris Johnson, the Cardinals all the way up with the number 3 selection. So you kind of look at this here with the top 10 picks right now. Carolina is going to take Bryce Young. That much we know. We literally don't know anything after that. There's buzz that the Texans don't like C.J. Stroud. Maybe they'll draft Will Levis. There's been sports books hinting that he's the favorite to go number 2, but I think Houston would rather trade down. Are the Cardinals going to trade down? Are they going to take Johnson? I think the point is, after the number 1 pick, all bets are off, which quite frankly makes this very exciting. It probably raises the anxiety for teams a little bit. Bears sitting there at number 9, they're like, it's kind of hard to project what 2 through 8 is going to look like, but hey, listen, it makes for a very entertaining night coming up on Thursday, and, the 72 hours leading up to that is going to be very, very fascinating. I will say this, if Paris Johnson goes in the top 8, that probably increases the likelihood of one of those quarterbacks making it to number 9, which probably makes it easier for Ryan Poles to trade down for more capital in round 1. So who will the Bears end up drafting in the first round? Even if it's not at number 9, perhaps it's in a trade down scenario. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Drop a name. Who will the Bears end up selecting? Speaking of the NFL Draft, we're going to have pick-by-pick analysis on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Things get started 6 o'clock Eastern on Thursday night, so go check that out over there. We'll, of course, be live here on Bears Now, so if you want Bears-centric coverage, we're the channel for you. But if we're not live at a specific moment, there will be constant live coverage on our main channel, so go subscribe and check us out at Chat Sports. Okay, the Bears-Steelers trade buzz kind of is just not going away here. There's been a few reports, and now Todd McShay is saying he's heard that the Steelers have shown interest in moving up with the Bears. Also, he mentioned the Titans as a team Pittsburgh's been interested in moving up for, as they apparently want an offensive tackle. Peter King had the report last week that they'd be willing to move up for Jalen Carter. So a lot of kind of nuggets out there about this one. Todd McShay, here's what he had to say here. I've heard Pittsburgh has contacted multiple teams, including the Bears at number 9 and then the Titans at number 11 about trading up for an offensive tackle. Here's what we know. Poles very much would like to trade down. Now, he's not just going to give away the 9th pick, but if there's proper trade offers out there, he will move down and get more picks. He understands this team has a lot of holes, and getting more capital is a good thing right now. Now, eventually you need to make a pick and just get a player in here, but if you can trade down 1 or 2 more times, I definitely think he would be open to doing that. As it sits right now, the Bears have 10 draft picks, but I think Poles would be interested in bridging that gap between 9 and 53, right? Or even adding another pick next year, whether it's a first or second, to get future capital. I think Poles still views this as a multi-year thing, and if a team like Pittsburgh wants to offer 17 and 32, or another idea I've seen is 17-49 and a future second, that would be appealing. I think those are a couple of ideas that could be out there if Pittsburgh is interested. Todd McShay also added that Jalen Carter is the pick that he thinks makes the most sense for the Bears if he is available at number 9 overall. Is it Carter or bust for Chicago with the 9th pick? A lot of smoke on both sides of the fence on that one. Here's McShay. He says, to be clear, I don't have direct info on the Bears in terms of if they like Carter, but they've spent a lot of time with him and putting in work on him. If Carter isn't there, I could see Chicago entertaining a trade back for even more draft capital. It needs defensive line help, and dropping back into range for Iowa's Lucas Van Ness, Georgia's Nolan Smith, or Pitt's Kalijah Kancey makes sense. Alternatively, the Bears could hold at number 9 and take Peter Skoronski, a safe pick that would be a big boost to the offensive line and help protect Justin Fields. I think considering that quote started with, to be clear, I don't have direct info, that's kind of where we're at right now, right? It's all a guessing game. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. We're 99% sure that Carolina's taking Bryce Young number 1. Beyond that, we don't really know. It seems like, the draft starts at number 2. Are the Texans going to keep the pick? Are they going to trade the pick? Will they draft a quarterback? Which one will they take if they do draft a quarterback? Will they go defensive line with Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson? I mean, this thing could go in about 6 different directions, starting with the number 2 pick, and it all impacts the Bears because it will directly determine who is and is not available at number 9. These are the top needs I have for Chicago right now, but you could certainly add more. You could add a running back. You could add a tight end, certainly, a wide receiver. I think you're still very much in a best player available mold, but obviously trenches is important. Getting another corner, I think getting a center makes sense, so going to be very interesting to see how Poles operates. What would you do with the number 9 pick? We've asked this question plenty of times. We'll do it again before Thursday. Type K for keep or T for trade. I think ideally you would trade down and get a player like Darnell Wright, but it's just so hard to see how this thing's going to play out. Let us know, K for keep or T for trade. All right, folks, plenty of coverage to come this week. Busiest week of the year for us here at Chat Sports, and we appreciate your support. And if you do want to do that live fan-led mock draft tomorrow, 112 subs away. I know 112 of you guys that are going to watch this video have not hit that subscribe button. You guys will get to make the picks tomorrow if we get there. So hit that sub button. We're going to have you covered. It's draft week, folks. Don't miss any of it.